Do you want to see if I stick with my budget or if I overspend from my last paycheck in October? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Jay for the Household Guru. For today's video, I'm going to show you the result of my second paycheck in October and whether to see if I overspend or if I stick with my budget. If you want to see that, stay tuned and keep watching. Alright, so from my October 17th budget, this is how my paycheck bill tracker looks like. You've seen this in my previous video, so if you haven't watched the video on how I budget my October 17th paycheck, head on to my previous video so you could watch how I allocate my money on that paycheck. So this is the overview of my paycheck bill tracker. Now let's go over into my expenses tracker. So this is my TD expenses, this is my checking expenses, and this is my cash expenses. So most of my bills most of my bills are paid online. That's why I have a lot in here as well as in here. So those expenses that are not highlighted is a paycheck that comes into my bank account or the transfer money from my PC to my TD account. Also, there are some extra right here that I put in from my TD account that is not highlighted because I'm not supposed to take fund money from my checking account. And also these are just my debt payment. My debt payment usually comes out from here, but anyways, do I have debt here? So this is the use of your expenses tracker. This will tell you the total that you've spent in each category that you have. So I highlighted all those, I tallied them, and this is what brings me in here. Those are the total expenses of each category that I have. Same thing with my PC account. I have this total right here, and as well as my cash expenses. Now the other half here, this is the expenses that I use from my credit card. This paycheck, I know I haven't used my credit card in a few months now since I started budgeting, but this past weekend we went to Toronto and my allotted money wasn't enough, so I have to dip into my credit card, which I'm a little bit mad about. We overspent. You can see already because there's an extra categories in here which I don't usually have in all my paycheck bill tracker. I don't have any allotted expenses towards my credit card. I don't have a tracker of my credit card because I have made a decision to not use any credit card anymore, but this weekend we had to use it for some expenses and planned expenses, I might say. So going back to my paycheck bill tracker, I have a little portion in here just to give me a total of my expenses. So these are the category that comes from my paycheck bill tracker. I have my fixed expenses, which is this portion, my variables, which is this portion, my debt payment, which is this portion, my sinking funds, this ones, my savings, which is this ones. And this is my budgeted amount for each and every category, and that will give me a total of $26.04 and 73 cents, which is my total actual income. Now this is the actual expenses that I made for the past 2 weeks. For my fixed expenses, it didn't change. For my variables, as you could notice, I have allotted 360 for my variables in here, but I have ended up 544 and 77 cents, which I'm so over budget and I'm so mad about that. Where did I get this number? That comes from my expenses tracker. All my variable expense from this and this, I tallied it all up, and that gives me the amount of 544 and 77 cents. So that's the great benefit if you track your expenses every time you get paid, and it will give you the picture or the view of how much you actually spend in that certain paycheck. If you don't have this, if you don't track your expenses, you will have an idea of how you overspend in that certain paycheck. But since I track my expenses down to T, I have a clear view of how much I overspend in that specific payday. For my debt payment, that didn't change. Sinking funds, that didn't change. My savings didn't change. So basically just my variable expense that goes overboard this pay. That variable expense, it could go lower on some paycheck, it could stick to that budget, or it could go over, which happens this past couple of weeks, which I'm super mad about. But anyways, we're gonna work on that next pay, not spend anything outside our budgeted amount over here. That's my goal for my next pay, to stick with my budget and don't overspend and never use my credit card. So that is the result of my last paycheck, which is October 17th. I overspent, not gonna lie, it will happen, and that will make you get better on your next budget. So what I learned from my previous paycheck is that I have to really think about it a lot, or assign as a realistic number onto my budget, because I know if you go to Toronto, you have to pay parking, you have to pay an extra gas, you have to pay put a little bit of money towards alcohol, because we out drinking. So I didn't really assign a realistic amount of money in there, because drinks in the club and outside in downtown Toronto gets really expensive, and I could have assigned a little bit more realistic number, but I don't know what I did. But that will, you know, help me judge better in the future. I could have cut out some stuff from like different aspect of my budget, so that I could have more money put towards my family fund budget for the past paycheck. But or not go at all. If you don't have any money, don't go, because you're just gonna overspend and spend money that you don't even have. And I'm kind of mad that I have dipped into my credit card, because I would not want to do that again. And I kind of want my credit card put aside and don't touch it at all, and just stick with my budget. But that happens, it will happen. It's a learning process, and you know, I will be learning from that paycheck and try not to do that again, and stick with my budget and do a better planning and do a better budgeting in the future. If you get a little bit insight from this video, feel free to share it on your social media, like this video, and if you have not subscribed to my channel as yet, consider subscribing, because there's going to be a lot more budgeting video coming up. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!